Welcome to LinkedIn Live. This is Israel's fourth LinkedIn Live, and I'm going to sit down because I can. So I'm here at Penguin Strategies, and we got a handful of some of their great workers here. And what we're doing is we're going through a walkthrough of LinkedIn ads, and this is great value to you watching online. Here's why it's of great value. What's great about it in the classroom is no one ever asks us questions that you want to ask. And what you're going to get is you're going to get some of the top marketers in technology industry that have different specialties and focuses that are well beyond ads, such as you as listeners here are going to ask questions about LinkedIn ads. And therefore, we'll be able to address your questions directly. And another thing also, someone can open up the LinkedIn Live on LinkedIn and you see any comments, and if there are any questions, if you can just tell me and I'll address those too. So if you have any questions, and people probably aren't zooming in now, so I'm probably going to I'll repeat this a few minutes in also, put them in the comments and we'll address them. Anyway, so a little introduction on myself. My name's Yoel Israel, founder of Wadi Digital, and I'm a LinkedIn ads radical expert, huge LinkedIn advocate. I've been using LinkedIn since as early as day, since I started studying finance in 2005, when business school made us get on LinkedIn to find employment and learn how to network. Then it was mostly for employment. Since then, of course, LinkedIn has grown, in particular since there have been purchases since it was purchased by Microsoft. And there's actually the opportunity on LinkedIn is unmatched. It's really great. So just a little bit about LinkedIn. These are things that you already know, and these numbers are much greater now, right? We know there are well over 500,000 people, professionals on LinkedIn. And what makes LinkedIn unique is a few things. One, it's the only place where professionals go to meet other people and to network. But more importantly, it's where we go as professionals to share our professional information. You might be using Facebook, you might be using Pinterest, Instagram, Snapchat, or one of the many other platforms out there, but nowhere do you voluntarily actually give your information over, because we all want to showcase and highlight what we're doing. That's the great added value of LinkedIn. And because we share that data information as advertisers, we take advantage of all that privacy information that you give us, and we help bring in lead generation through LinkedIn. One thing that's unique about LinkedIn, what it's become now, is 80% of all B2B leads come through LinkedIn ads or LinkedIn organic. So keep that in mind, and that doesn't even include personal messages that people get via LinkedIn for leads that they're not able to quantify. So there's really a lot that you can do with LinkedIn, and most importantly, you can target the correct people. Also, all the decision makers and all that, that's how you reach them. So if you want to find the CEO, someone head of procurement, because you want to get into a new contract, the only place you can find them is on LinkedIn, and the only way you can reach out to them is on LinkedIn, and it's considered completely appropriate if you do it in a non-spamming way. We're going to get into that in a bit. If anyone who's joining us now, if you have any questions, put them in the comments. We're here at Penguin Strategies going over LinkedIn ads, explaining how things work, going through a little step-by-step guide, and any questions that you have, Yoni here, David, someone will share the questions, and we'll make sure to address them. So yeah, let's proceed. It's a little bit more about LinkedIn, as I kind of touched on, right? It's the #1 platform, white collar professionals, this is where we go, right? And we promote ourselves as we discussed. What I really like about it, personally, me, is that we don't have cat videos, we don't have family pictures so much, we don't have all of these things, or politics. All of that noise that we don't like stays off other platforms. It's not the place to post it. It's not going to get traction, and it's not recommended that you post it. Actually, I had a conversation with someone, this might be of value. Even if you see something you like that's not related to professionalism, but let's say might be divisive, let's say you see a political post, even if you agree with it, by you liking that, other people see in their feed that you like that post. And keep in mind, people don't want to see their news feed that you might be liking cat videos or anything that isn't appropriate to LinkedIn, and you'll end up actually people unfollowing you. So it's important to keep LinkedIn as professional as possible, and try to keep anything that isn't professional or isn't value given or a way to engage off the platform. All right, so let's talk about some targeting. This is some of the targeting that's on LinkedIn. There are a few different ways to target on LinkedIn. Now, who here has ran any LinkedIn ads campaigns? Sure, raise a hand. All right, so almost the entire room. And what is the majority of your budget, what kind of targeting are you talking? Is it more, when you're trying to target individuals, are you targeting people that are in groups? Another way of doing it is you can target by job titles. Another way is target a job function and seniorities. Another way is interest targeting, which I'll get into a bit because that's a new feature. What do you have experience with?
Depends on what campaign you're running and why you're running it. For example, if you're running it, for an event, you might run it differently from than if you're trying to go ahead and promote a white paper.
Okay, so give me an example for an event. What kind of targeting have you used?
Okay, if you're running for an event, so what I've done in the past is I've run a campaign where I'm targeting specific people from companies in a certain area.
In a certain area. So let's say if the event is held in Chicago, so you have people in that company only in Chicago?
Yeah, people not necessarily only in Chicago, but people
At those companies. Okay.
Well, those companies, but also those companies, but only the ones that are in the U.S. or in the U.S. as opposed to those companies, but in another, they sit in Israel or they sit in Europe or they sit wherever it is.
Okay. Excellent, great. So that's another great way. Another thing to do is that unlike people, when you join groups, what I discovered on LinkedIn as individuals, and think for yourself, when have you ever seen posts on groups in your newsfeed? Ever, right? We don't see it. So if you want to join a group on LinkedIn, you have to be proactively join it. So keep in mind, the target audience of people that join professional groups on LinkedIn are proactively pursuing knowledge in this information. So it's a great way to target of people that are in groups. In addition to that, you should be adding more filters on top of it when it comes to advertising. Another targeting, so I'm going to go through some of these, is company name, which I'm sure we're familiar with. If you're not familiar, what you should be doing in a form of account-based marketing is you can upload your company list directly to LinkedIn. You go to matched audience under account assets, and you upload it in a CSV with 2 columns, company name and company domain. It takes usually up to 2 days to process, and that's a way that you can target. In addition to, you can target, yeah.
2 days to process because of the size of the list or this specific,
Say it again?
why does it take so long to process the list?
Because LinkedIn?
Is it a LinkedIn thing? You're not
It's a
talking
LinkedIn
about
thing.
size of...
Well, the size usually would take a little longer. So it's a great question. So one is LinkedIn. And
Like if you need to run the campaign, immediately. You
Correct, okay.
Essentially have to wait.
Let's address that. Let's address immediately, and I'm going to go a little tangent, and I'm going to come back to that because a pet peeve of mine. There is, we have salespeople, and they're going to this conference next Monday, and we need these lives up. You guys had that?
Yes.
You have an obligation to tell your clients, and anyone listening, there's no such thing as immediate. Just to get LinkedIn, for example, if you were to do in-mail, which is messages that you send people directly through ads. You can also do this through Sales Navigator, that's another talk. Through ads, you can send people messages. Through those messages, just to set up an in-mail and get people permission, it can take 48 hours for that person to be cleared. I don't know why. Often it goes longer, and I have to contact LinkedIn, and then they move it forward and they push it. But they won't touch it until it's been 48 hours. Additionally, in-mail, an individual, if everyone right now goes to open a new tab, if you're watching now live, open a new tab and go to your messages, and I want you to scroll down. Look at the last time you got an in-mail. Next to the person's name, in bold, it should say in-mail. And then look at the one before that. What you'll notice is that you will not have an in-mail from advertising with at least a 6-week gap. Meaning, if you want to reach certain individuals or companies or people attending a conference, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go at least 6 weeks out if you want to reach your target audience. The reason why it's every 6 weeks, and by the way, it used to be 3 months, it used to be 90 days, is because they don't want to ruin the UI and user experience on LinkedIn. Can you imagine if you were getting ads messages, right, 1 a day or 1 a week? It would ruin it, and people, right, and so there's a reason why they limit it. So you need to go at least 6-7 weeks out in order to be able to serve your audience. All the money in the world will not let you serve your audience, but you're going to need the time when you're sending in-mails. So to go back to what you're saying, there's no such thing as setting anything up immediately. Mm-hmm. If you want something up immediately, like live, we need ads going up now, then in general, obviously they don't understand LinkedIn, which is fine. Most people don't understand LinkedIn, and most people don't understand LinkedIn ads, and that's cool. But one needs to understand that there's no such thing, that just like we try to strategize, and we have medium and long-term plans, and there are such things as quick wins, yes, and we will get into those, that what's important is that people understand that LinkedIn, it's a B2B platform. You can't tell your sales, hey, I want you to close, you need 25% of your book of business. Sales cycles in B2B technology companies are anywhere from 6 to 24 months usually. Mm-hmm. So you wouldn't ask it for sales, and you can't ask it for marketing. Mm-hmm. And this is actually another topic where you can bring sales and marketing in together. Anyone that's joining us live, feel free to mention any questions in the comments. So we're here to address, and we're going through LinkedIn ads basics and probably intermediate level. Yes,
I just want to add to him. I've also tried using matched audiences, but the list isn't big enough, so then it can't run. So what's
Email
the,
lists?
Like company lists.
Company names.
So what's the minimum?
Okay, so the minimum audience for a campaign is 300 people.
Okay.
So let's say you're uploading, hypothetically, I don't know, 10 lists, and let's say it could be, I don't know, 15,000 people that work at the company. But then when you narrow it down, who the decision makers, the influencers are, and then even by geography, you find yourself under the 300 person minimum.
Okay.
So then there's the issue. And sorry, 1 second, Sean.
No.
So to go back to what you were saying, people want things up immediately. I just want to make sure that there's no such thing as anything immediately. It does take a couple of days to process.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so people need to know that. So when you sign up a client for LinkedIn ads, or when you're ready to go, if you have any list, you should be immediately adding it. In addition, now you should be adding, let's say you have all of your leads. If you do lead scoring, you might want to just add the list of people who are, let's say, higher points, closer to MQL. You want to make a list just of those, and you want to try getting them in the process. Additionally, for remarketing, when you use the insight tag is a LinkedIn code that you put on LinkedIn. You don't just want to make a remarketing of your site. You want to remarketing, start populating it. People that visit your blog, people that visit your resources, people that visit your careers page. Because if you want to do HR, or if you want to exclude people that are in your careers page, that's another way to do it. And one last thing about exclusions, and to address the match list, is you should make a list of your competitors or people you don't want to see your ads. Because when you do, even though your general targeting won't reach them, but if you do remarketing of your website visitors, you might have competitors that are coming to your page, your client's page, and you don't want them to see the ads. So make sure you upload a CSV account-based marketing list of competitors, or let's say clients or other people you don't, or you know what I mean, or other or partners or suppliers that might be coming to your website, so they won't see your remarketing ads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a general question. You choose how, when, and where in this session you want to address it. But this is something really interesting for us specifically, because the majority of our clients are B2B tech companies who are selling to a very professional and usually technical audience.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the question. We find from the campaigns that we run on LinkedIn that the business people everybody has a profile. Like professionals that we're in the companies we're addressing, they all have profiles on LinkedIn. They are on LinkedIn.
Correct.
But in the sense that they have a profile, it's usually pretty much updated because they always think, oh, maybe I'll get a job offer, right? So they have it. But the only people that we see that are active daily and reading feeds and responding are the business people, sales, marketing, business development people. And then when we build funnels for our clients to sell their products, whatever they are, it's often the personas we want to hit are the CTO, the chief architect, the chief software development guy, or whoever, various professionals. And these guys are they go into LinkedIn very, randomly, not often. Maybe they get interested by a friend that sent them a message, check this out, so they check something out, but they're not as active there. So the practice we try to do is to build the LinkedIn campaigns through influencers in the buying process who are more business, like the business influencers. But the actual people where we want to reach really are the technical guys. So do you have any ideas and tactics of how we can effectively get in front of the business people who are more scarcely on LinkedIn?
Right, so 2 quick points and then a more actual practical answer that you can use. One, I'm finding these like IT CTOs, and the more senior you are, the more likely you're on LinkedIn.
Right.
So even though there's this catch-22, the more senior people are less likely to convert because they don't want to be sold, but at the same time, they're far more likely. So when we often go for senior, when we're trying to reach, say, or especially enterprise and technology, which I'm familiar with, right, is that they're actually on more than you think, and they're more likely to convert. But what you really need to speak to is their pain point. Is really go to the pain point. In addition, if you don't use lead generation forms, which we'll get into, if you send them to your website, there's something, LinkedIn Audience Network is their scores of websites like Washington Post that serve LinkedIn ads. So you can reach them on their network, which is thousands of websites. And you can actually increase your impressions by 25%. That's how great the reach is, and the reach is expanding. It's one of the main goals of LinkedIn. So therefore, we can reach those that don't log into LinkedIn regularly. That's one way. But another way though is, shouldn't be saying this, but should really, because you need to be holistic, is you gotta go to Google, and you gotta get them on Google Ads, and you need to find placements and websites where things that they are reading, and you need to take placements in Google Ads, the banners, the image ads, and you need to take them there, bring them to your site, and market to them. It'll be much cheaper, and hopefully, and that's another way of bringing.
So you actually do agree that it's, when you use the LinkedIn platform, it's better if your targeted persona is the actual salespeople, the business development people, the ones who are daily active. And if you want to reach the other personas, you think it's better to go Google
No,
Ads?
I absolutely not. No, I think you need to supplement. I also think you need to supplement with LinkedIn's network. Overwhelmingly, I'm in favor of serving people on the platform. Those that are actually care about their career and let's say want to learn and want to do professional development are on LinkedIn anyway. It's just the personality of that individual, or one that is successful is going to be spending time on LinkedIn. It's going to want to learn, going to see what's going on. That's the kind of individual that we want to reach, and those are the kind of individuals that are more likely to download, let's say, a white paper, an ebook, click on something that speaks to a pain point, as opposed to saying, I'll let someone else take care of it. So if you're more likely to download, you're more likely to be on LinkedIn, and the more senior you are, the more likely to be on LinkedIn. So in my experience, these people are definitely on LinkedIn. Of course, they're not there as much as us marketers, not there salespeople in biz dev, and even founders and people looking for investment. That is correct. But they're there, and the seniors are there. And if you're targeting companies, let's say, that are under 200 people, I think you'll find that a good chunk of their IT people have to be extremely knowledgeable, especially if they're on site and in-house, and I think you will be able to reach them.
Okay.
Sweet. Any more questions? Nope. All right. Okay, so another way, in addition to account-based marketing, just to go into that, you can also do email-based marketing. You can upload a list of emails into the matched audience on LinkedIn, and you can target those emails, just like you can do on Facebook, and just like you can do on Google search. You can use for a Google search. So that's something to keep in mind, so you can reach them. But of course, you need to have a specific match rate. A problem we all have on LinkedIn is that many people, the email they have with LinkedIn is not the same email that they have, that you might have on them, that they might have submitted from whatever, a trade show or however else you received their email.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep that in mind. So you'll find match rates could easily be 40% below. There's nothing wrong with your data, that's the way it is. It's a catch-22 for LinkedIn when they sign people up. One, generally speaking, people prefer to use, overall, we're talking all of LinkedIn, want to use their personal email. Usually they sign up, let's say they're out of college, university, they have a personal email, they don't have a business email. People usually get, when they first get on LinkedIn, they're looking for employment, so they don't have a company email. And also people like to use their personal email because they see it as their profile, not an extension of the business that they work at, as creative advocates as they may be of them. So it is a challenge to get work emails. And I'm sure you're familiar with this if you're using Regeneration Forms. So in addition to company targeting, you should not be using the company targeting here. You should be uploading lists, as I said, unless it's just like one or two, a few companies. You should be doing industry, a way to get, now we're talking scale, right? We want to take advantage of LinkedIn's large list. We want to talk about the industries. So the industries are chosen like this. You're a company, you set up a company, all right? And you say, okay, as you make your company business page on LinkedIn, you actually choose what your industry is. And of course, just like we want to give as much relevant and accurate information about ourselves, so do we want to do that for the companies that we work with. So whoever sets up the business page, it will be correctly set up so we can target people working at those industries, at those companies. So that company is associated, let's say Wadi Digital is associated with marketing and advertising as an industry. And then I, Yoel, say I work at Wadi Digital, right? And then they know I am working, my industry is marketing advertising. And then they know, well, based on my job title and their AI, they know that my job function is considered marketing. And so these are all targeting methods. So you should also choose industry, and then to make sure you zone in on those that you can serve, that can serve, not too large, not too small. Let's focus on company sizes. And so that's another feature. Also, and then you should use your function and your seniority. So let's say if you want to target senior people, such as CTOs, and people might have a lot of different names for different technology job titles. And then what you want to do is you want to do people in IT, let's say with companies of 50 plus or 200 plus that are the seniority of director plus, right? And that's how you're able to reach them and reach all of them. So another way to do it also, if you're going very focused, is job titles. So job titles is you'll have often stronger conversion rates, but you won't get the scale. You'll find your audience is much smaller because everyone has a different job title. So you can have, I mean, you know, if you, for example, right, like, how would you target my job title is like LinkedIn ads expert, whatever, right? But that's not a job title you can select from. And a lot of them you can't, which is why you won't be able to target me based on job title. You will be able to target me based on industry and seniority, right? Job function and seniority, sorry.
Why, in the job title, can't you just use keywords?
No.
You can't
No.
say, if they have in their job title the word,
That's Sales
Ads?
Navigator,
oh.
not for ads, that's
Okay,
correct.
Okay,
Which is, again, we can do like 4 hours in Sales
okay,
Navigator.
fine.
Sales Navigator is really awesome. For those that don't know, Sales Navigator is a premium feature on LinkedIn. It's like $85 a month or something, and you get advanced search methods, way to search for individuals, which are called leads, and search for companies, which are called accounts. And there's really cool features you can save and exclude. It's a great way to find talent, see what to do market research, find out what your competition's up to, see their growth, and you get extra insights on growth of companies, the company breakdown of what the job functions are, when you need senior management, and all this really cool stuff you can get being a LinkedIn Premium member. I highly recommend it. They have a 30-day free trial. They should totally give me a cut for this, right?
Totally.
All right, another thing is, so I'm gonna show you, I wish I can show you, I don't know what account I can show you on. I wanna talk about a hack that I've learned that LinkedIn has yet to discover, and I sent it to them and they can't get to the bottom of it. If you take your, anyone here have a LinkedIn ads account open? Can someone go, do you have one? Go ahead, I want you to test this. This works like 3/4 of the time. Have one open to manage, take one that you have that, and tell me, with a large audience, let's say north of, let's say 40,000, and tell me just, you want to tell me the targeting, tell me what the suggested cost per click is.
Oh, I have to make a campaign that's more than 40,000.
Then fine, choose the one you have, whatever you have. Well, let's see, and I'll show you a little hack. Another thing, and I'll continue here to pull that up, is company connections. Sometimes you want to
40.
specifically advertise to people that are connected with your company. Those are people that are connections to people that work at the company, right? Want to influence people. There are also other targeting that's not here. You can do CIO network, CTO network, people that are networked with these people, and then of course filter the regular targeting on top of it, so you can reach the influencers. So if that person doesn't log on to LinkedIn, we can now reach them to the pain point of the people that they work with and people that are close to them. Send this to your CTO right? If you're having X outages, right? You can do it like that, right?
Yeah.
And that's another way that you can reach them, and it makes the person who's sharing it looks good internally because you're doing something proactive.
Yeah.
And it should be. So these are other great ways that you can reach them. Let me pull it up. So I'm gonna go into Carousel Ads. Now Carousel Ads is, okay, the best way to get leads in general, what ads are served is straight up banners. There's image ads that are 1200 by 627 pixels. They do better than carousel ads, they do better than video ads. They each have their purpose. All right, now for carousel ads, which are these cards, right, they're little squares, you can serve 3 to 10. 3 to 10 cards. And this is really good if, let's say, you want to send them to your website, and each one, everyone has a different kind of gated content they want. So you can send them
Should be an animated GIF, or it has to be
It has to be static. Is you can send them a smorgasbord of content. So let's say you have a bunch of blogs. You want to know which blog's right for them. They can swipe, and you pay for the click that's interesting for them. Or let's say you have an ebook, a white paper, an on-demand webinar, and the last one's like free trial, request a demo, and they can go on and continue wherever they like. So there are a lot of great ways to do this. Also, you can make cards if, let's say, you're hiring a handful of roles. This is a great way of showing the different roles that you have.
So you find this to be more effective usually in terms of cost per click than
No, not
sponsored posts, for
No.
example?
No, this is not more effective for cost per lead. Not.
Okay.
This is not more effective for cost per click.
So when is it good?
One thing, higher click-through rates, but I don't really care for click-through rates personally. I'm actually anti people who are click-through rates. It's a pet peeve of mine. We'll go for that another time. Or screw it, let's go for it now. Sometimes, one of the greatest things, people talk about click-through rates and what are the click-through rate benchmarks. Israelis like to talk about this, and cheap cost per clicks. I hate these people. I know you're watching this and you're like, but cost per click, click-through rate, No one cares. We want leads. We want revenue. We want
No, we
cost per
want
leads.
qualified leads.
Thank you,
That's
one
it.
qualified
That's what
lead.
we
Yes.
count. We count qualified leads.
Yes, we want qualified leads that lead to revenue. We want revenue. We want things that actually enter the system. So imagine if you have, say you have something like you have a white paper. Download this white paper to learn why, you know what I mean, you should use a VPN to secure your network, whatever, right? But what if, or let's just say VPN secure network, learn more. And then it says to a downloaded content, right? Now you'll get higher click-through rate than you wrote white paper, downloaded it up. Less people are going to click because they know they have to give their information in order to download it. So your click-through rates will be lower, but if you're bidding on per click, then you'll have higher conversion rates, and you're only paying per click, and you'll be paying much less per conversion, but your click-through rates will be much lower.
Right.
So this is like, I feel like this is going to be a battle I'll be fighting for a long time.
No, but not here.
Not
We
here,
get
but
it.
everyone out there,
We get it,
especially,
totally.
yeah, I understand you get it. So, yeah, I wish I can just like hide the cost per click column like you
So,
have on
so
Facebook.
since we are all interested in optimizing the cost per deal, what would you find, in what cases do you find that
Not for
using
leads.
carousel?
Not for leads.
Okay, so in which cases do you use carousel because you think it's great? In
So,
what case?
okay, so there's a lot of times, many times in advertising, the goal is not leads. Of course, as you know, when you do marketing automation, we have a funnel, we have lead scoring, is we want to bring them back to the website. We might want to remarket to them because we know that they're relevant. We want them to know what's going on. We might want to highlight different things that we're doing. We want to be able
Stores
to.
probably.
Say
Sorry,
again?
sorry to interrupt you there. No, just
No, dude, interrupt.
No, for carousel ads, I probably mentioned like online stores or actual.
Correct, for
Or
e-commerce.
probably
as well.
like the
Sure, but you can highlight anything. But like, let's say you want to highlight like, hey, meet our team. This person is this person is that, this person is
Yeah.
that. You can have pictures and under a text, and they can go to and link to wherever you want. Or they
Okay.
go, or here are services. You know, you can have marketing automation. Link, you know, I'd have like LinkedIn ads, Google ads, SEO, link building, right? Why we'd include the services that we do, right? You know, and then in the final be get in touch with us maybe. So it's a lot of different ways. You want to showcase your blogs. It's a great way to showcase. You want to show what you're doing. It's very important. The ideal goal, and this is not in a short-term strategy, we understand that for startups, is probably 40% of your spend on LinkedIn should not be lead generation focused. Should not be. It should be promoting your blogs. Because if you post something organically, let's say you have 5,000 followers, what percentage of the 5,000 followers are going to see it? So if you actually want them to see the post, and if they happen to go in the way that Facebook's going, right? If you're going to go the way Facebook's going, eventually you're going to have to pay to play. So just like you can target people that follow your company now on LinkedIn or exclude them, I think that's where things are going to be going, is that you have an engaged audience and you can advertise, you can directly reach your audience. So keep that in mind also as you build your followers, which also is another conversation. But so you want to, yes, you want to eventually get more and more people, you want to get people off of lead gen, and eventually they'll come in through your CRM, you'll be able to track them in HubSpot. Any more questions on carousels? Did you pull that up?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the suggested cost per click?
$6.17.
$6.17. Do you have years of experience in your targeting?
Let me double check. Yeah, 7 to 12.
7 to 12. I want you, don't save, remove your years per experience, and then tell me what the cost per click is. $11.62. No years of experience, $11.62. He made it more narrow and more senior, $6.17. Are you just
How's
understand?
that?
Because it's a bug, and I spent all day in LinkedIn ads, so I know all of these hacks. So what you can do now is you can actually go more narrow, more senior, and pay almost half per click by actually doing years of experience. It doesn't make any sense. I know, it's a total mindfuck. I know. I was like, I tested on like 6 campaigns. It's like, this can't be happening.
maybe it's more effective to do it. Maybe LinkedIn found that it's more effective to do it
No, I asked them.
broader. No.
So they're probably watching this. I took a video screen share on VideoArt, which I can track views, and I sent it over to LinkedIn. And they're like, oh, this is interesting. We're looking into this. And then it's getting like all these views, like sent it around. And they're like, and they followed up in a week. Like, still like any update? Like, we're still trying to find out what's going on. This is like 2.5 months ago. I haven't checked in a while. But I'm just saying.
But the number that you're getting is an estimate, isn't it? Or
No, it's
a
suggested.
commitment. It's a commitment?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, or the commitment, or the same thing. You do CPM, you
Okay.
do the same thing. So there's a lot of these things which I'll save one of them for another time, but that's a different advantage. When you play with things and you look and you start to see, oh, here's cost per click for those who care about cost per clicks, but more importantly, that turns into cost per leads. So you just went from $11.50 to $6.17. You basically, you're getting more senior targeting, better leads, and half the price. Just by doing that. So another hack there. If anyone has any questions, now's a good time. No, okay. This is a little more in Carousel, right? You can have its own landing page. You can display different gated content, and they're also fun to interact with. All right, lead generation forms. This is here's my first lead generation form that I ever did, April 1st, 2017, when they rolled it out into our area. So this is pretty old-fashioned, as you could probably tell. So who here's using lead generation forms? Anyone not familiar with lead generation forms? So those that don't know, lead generation forms are awesome for a few reasons. One, all the information is accurate. Like I said, we give our data voluntarily over to LinkedIn. And we do that for everyone. Actually, even if you're not voluntarily giving it over, they're stealing it from you anyway. But as advertisers, we get all this information. So when they click on an ad, all this information pre-populates and preloads. It's not just filled out, which saves them time, prevents bounce rates. It's also accurate. And most importantly, we get their emails and their phone numbers that are
Except that
accurate.
you're getting, usually because it's LinkedIn, you're getting the emails, which are the personal emails. as
Correct,
opposed
like
to
40% of the
professional
time,
emails.
correct. Yes.
So that's
We
that.
wouldn't work.
I've actually got a question regarding that. If you're running a webinar, you got a webinar,
Mhm.
and obviously you've got a gated landing page where you got to get the details. In this type of scenario, would you use a lead generation form in your LinkedIn ad? Because essentially you kind of double gating the lead, right? It's going to fill out the form, he's going to come to a landing page. The only problem is LinkedIn, like Benji mentioned, you're going to get the wrong email. You might not want, depends which email you want. No, sorry, actually it doesn't really matter. The question is, what would you do in that scenario? Would you are double gating your...
Well, I'm pretty sure, you guys tell me, right? For example, HubSpot would be able to double gate and know it's the same person, correct?
Yeah.
They have it, so I think that's solved. However, we do have clients, let's say they have free trials, for example, and it's very technical, or it's like so then they log into their backend, so you can't do it through like free trials, as opposed to demos, usually you can do it through gated lead generation forms. Free trials, you need to go through the website because that's how it's set up. So in that case, then you would not use a lead generation form. Another thing, I've had a client that's actually, they've had it to them to fill it out, what they did to sign up for a webinar, and so they actually manually entered because the conversion rates were double.
Yes. Okay.
So they would manually
understand.
enter them, and as they manually enter them, then they get the automated email, everything's just set up, and they would just, someone in the office would just manually enter them. It's 80 people, and it comes in over, let's say, the course of 3 weeks or something. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
So then you can just manually enter them at the end of the day or whatever, twice a day isn't an issue. That's a good point, by the way. It's a great question. So we get higher conversion rates, we get accurate data, and one of the other great things that people don't talk about is, since it's on LinkedIn and on the server, the load time is 0. You click, it's there, and it's loaded and everything. You go to your website, you got your load time, right? And you got your relevance score and all
Keeps
that.
them within the platform. There's no need to actually get them out of the platform.
Which LinkedIn likes, which we can talk about LinkedIn's algorithm for organic later about that because it's very important. But there is a downside. You can't cookie them. If they come to your landing page on your website, you can cookie them and remarket to them. You can't do that here. They also might get more.
It gives you the option to put in a link where you can go ahead and after they fill in the form, there is a link over there that they can click through the website, but it doesn't mean.
Correct, so that's here on the right. And I actually have my testimonials, which I recommend. A lot of people send people to the homepage. After someone fills out a form, don't send them to the homepage. I mean, you should case by case, of course, but consider sending them to a specific piece of a blog that's ungated.
Yeah.
Something that will warm them up, especially for demo requests or something, so the sales is gonna call them. So I'll relate to here, and so it would say like, here, in the meanwhile, this is really old, but like, in the meanwhile, enjoy our blog on blah, 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 blah. Or did you hear in the news, whatever, this and that. Or read some of our other you can read some of our testimonials or how other people have used our technologies, you know what I mean? In case studies, send them somewhere to soften the sale or to help them become more likely to open your email marketing and marketing automation in the future. So every aspect needs to be focused on getting them more points in the lead scoring so they can become an MQL or softening them more for sales. As marketers, our job is to help salespeople. That's it. Our job is to give them what they need to help them produce revenue. They can say our cost per lead is that, and even if they're accurate people, but at the end of the day, if they're not leading the sales, and LinkedIn is higher funnel than, let's say, Google, because Google has intent, because people are actively searching. So you need to be using lead scoring, you need to be bringing people in, and after you send them to the thank you page, you need to be able to get them just direct, after they fill out information, send them to it. By the way, also, if someone fills out something on your website, or on your client's website, just they downloaded something, nothing to do with LinkedIn, you should say, by the way, read some of these other things. It's also a good idea for a 404 page in your website. Hey, you've reached a 404, maybe you're looking for one of these blogs, send them some content. Send it back to the homepage of them Xing out, send them somewhere.
Just to argue your point, just because you said as a
Yeah, please
as a
argue, I love arguing.
Fine. As a marketer, our objective over here.
That's an issue.
No, but you said as a marketer, our objective is to help the sales.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're trying to do, because if you're trying to increase the brand awareness of your brand, only because you want, I don't know, to increase the chances of someone buying them out, you're not actually looking right now at sales.
Correct.
You're looking at the objective of increased brand awareness. So there are
Right,
sometimes different.
so it should be brand awareness, so it should be another blog. So send them
I'm
to
just saying.
non-GitBug, 100%.
Yo, a step back. Someone on LinkedIn is asking about
Who? What's the name?
Adam Kaplan
What's up, Adam?
is asking about matched audience.
What about?
You use it, how to use it.
Well, how long ago was that question?
Along
No,
Very
It was
slow.
from the beginning,
was it how I use it?
and he just spoke about it right
Great.
after they posted it.
Yeah.
Oh, right after, okay, cool, so I answered your question, Adam. That was, tough. I'm linked in.
Thanks, David. Good morning.
That was great, thank you. Any question to ask them, there might be like a minute and a half lag, so, lag, so let me know
Yeah.
sometimes. Okay, cool. On, any question on lead generation forms, because this is like probably 90%, in my opinion, obviously, 90% of lead generation focused, lead capturing that you wanna do, you should be using lead generation forms.
Sure. Let me ask you a quick question on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you prefer lead generation as opposed to something like an email, right? Or as opposed to actually showing it up in the feed? There's some
Or as
certain
opposed
times.
to getting people to click from just a sponsored post into a landing page that we have outside of this with forms. Like why?
When would you, okay. so it's too much.
When would you prefer this than to have them send them to a landing page outside of LinkedIn?
When I first pulled you aside at a show and I asked you something like this, you said, okay, if you're looking for an event, in-mail. If it's not for an event, stay away from it for right now.
Generally speaking, correct.
It's-
So
that's
explain.
right.
Correct, okay, one, real fast, to address what you said, and that's true. You wanna go to the website, one, if it's important to cookie them, because on LinkedIn, the target audience is so strong, you can then cookie someone that's already was interested enough to click on an ad, and you have that opportunity. I do believe, by the way, that LinkedIn will plan on doing remarketing, those people that clicked on an ad, opened a form, but didn't complete it. I think where you're out from that, it's in the works. You'll know about it from me for sure when we know more, and then it'll give me a hard time for sharing information that I shouldn't be sharing, as usual. Regarding, does that answer your question?
No, I'm asking, what are the cases where, okay, so you're saying because of the cookie that you
Cookies.
can't get on the website
Right.
because,
Right, or if it's a free trial, like I said,
Right.
where like you need them to like actually register through your platform or through your, yeah.
but why wouldn't I get the cookie on the website?
Oh, so if many people,
Yeah.
they submit and they get to that final page and they hit back.
Mm-hmm.
People don't know that. They don't have it, they're not interested in visiting your website, they wanna go back to LinkedIn and continue scrolling,
Right.
right? They downloaded a grade and.
And LinkedIn is aware of this. That's why they set up these ads, 100%. People want to stay in LinkedIn right now. They're looking, oh, this is relevant to me, but they're in the middle of doing something. That's why.
Right. And by the way, it's not a bad idea, this is more for landing pages, but often we send people to like the direct PDF to download. You should also email it to them so they get used to seeing emails from you.
Yeah, we know that, we do that usually.
Okay, awesome,
That's
great. InMail, because we don't really talk about it here so much. Okay, InMail's awesome. For one, like I said, you can only receive an email once every 6 weeks. So give yourself 2 months, please, people. Also, keep in mind is
What do you mean you can receive one only once every 6 weeks?
like I said, go to your LinkedIn messages
Mm-hmm.
and look at the last time you saw an email, and then look at the last time you saw an email before that, and tell me what's the date range in between them. Through ads, not sales navigator.
Oh, okay, through ads, I see.
Okay. Which is just through ads.
LinkedIn doesn't want to spam you with these
They want to use
messages.
the spam. Right, exactly,
Right.
correct.
But the best thing about that is that it gives you the ability to actually talk to someone in the event that they don't go on LinkedIn all the time.
Correct.
So now that you actually went to their
Yeah.
email, they're saying, oh, bam.
Exactly correct. It gets pushed to their email. Usually, most
that
people
would
do.
be a good answer to my question from 10 minutes ago.
Which one?
How to target those who are not often there.
Right, email, correct. You can email them, they can get
Yeah.
emails, right, sure. That's basically sending an ad in their email. So another thing is emails, like I was telling you, is events. So if you're a salesperson, if you're going to an event, if you're going to, Mobile World Conference or these, and you want to meet people in your target audience, anyone going there, usually, let's say, if it's large, like, MWC, they're, or Shop Talk or these others, people will fly there to these events. They're massive. So they really want to hit up as many meetings as they can, and they have within the app ways to meet people right at these locations.
If somebody's sending me an email ad, and I've already have in line 3 other ads waiting, then I will get it in 6 times 3 weeks from today?
I didn't understand.
That's-
No, they'll space them out. You just won't get it.
I just won't get it. I
You
see.
won't get it.
Alright.
So I mean, if your audience is just let's say 100,000 people, just for an easy number, I mean, and just statistically, let's just say, people won't get it. And but it's not even that. Let me be let me be a little more direct. It's so imperative to wait more than 6 weeks. They're like, oh, I'll get people that didn't get one in the last week. That's not how it works. So many people are using email and they're so cheap. It's like 80 cents to send one through.
Wow.
It's very cheap.
Very cheap.
I posted a couple weeks ago. The benchmark is 57% open rate, and I want to talk about that because I don't like that number because I think it's bullshit. That goes for emails also. I don't believe in open rates, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And then more importantly, 3.57 click-through rate. That's when click-through rate matters. Once they're here. The reason why I don't believe open rates, a lot of people, such as myself, might open it just so it will be marked as unread. You're already in the messages and it's here. So I don't really believe in that. Obviously, you only want to look at click-through rates. Open rates isn't, you know what I mean?
They don't
You
do
might-
like on paid time on page. Like if you opened it and you remained in the email within X amount of time.
You don't have that indication.
You don't have that. You don't have that indication. Not yet. LinkedIn, I know you're listening. The whole world's listening. Email. So if you're going to an event, you want to send an email because you want to reach them. Because you want to meet them. You're saying, hi, my name is, unlike other ads, which comes from, let's say, Wadi Digital, as you would see here, it would come from Yoel Israel. That's what's great about emails. It's an individual. So if you're trying to book meetings and you're going to an event, email is very strong. On the other hand, me personally, I don't use them in Israel because it comes off, it's such a small pond and everyone knows each other, like it's ridiculous, that you don't want to come off as spammy. But if you're going to Mobile World Congress meeting 1 million people throughout the world and you're our target audience the whole world, then go ahead and use it. The number is very worthwhile. And of course, you don't have any remarketing, you don't have any of the other features that you would otherwise. It's just a one-time send out. So, but just one thing I want to reiterate though about the 6 weeks out, having time, to go back to the first question, is that you, like, as soon as you view an email, as soon as it's been 6 weeks, you'll get another one. Like, there's a queue. So you need 6 weeks out.
Well, there has to be a queue. If you think about someone who's on, they're a target persona. They're not only your target persona. They're a bunch of companies' target
Exactly.
personas.
It's an auction.
And if someone else went ahead and sent out the email that got
So
to this
it's an
person, you're not going to get to that
So
person.
if you bid higher, you're more likely to reach the
Mhm.
person?
So let's say if we both are trying to target
Right,
you,
yeah.
right? And okay, your 6 weeks expires. Now, who's are you going to see?
I'll get the more expensive one, right? So,
That's why bid high.
so.
Bid high. Go very tight, not wide. Very specific, and be willing to spend $3 per cent, in my opinion. And we're talking B2B technology companies. We're talking over $100,000 easily. Most is coming $500,000 in revenue a year. We're talking lifetime values in the millions. So sending this is worth a lot.
Right,
Getting
so-
the leads, hundreds of dollars you pay for it.
So if I go as high as $5, and open
I've
rate
never-
is
I've never-
50%,
Right. Well,
then you're likely in $10 get an open, right?
sure, I've never spent that, even though I bid the $5 just to say, because I want to be the one.
Right.
But I don't think I spent north of like $2.20 on that send.
Cool. So
As in, by the way, this is subject to change. They said, when they were trying to push emails a few months ago, they were like, the cost per send, we lowered it. What they really did was, they lowered it from 90 days to 60 days, and then 60 days to 45 days, to in between sends. So there's a lot more suddenly demand of those when they receive emails versus those doing it, which dropped it. I mean, it's a free market. Like the end of the line, like all advertising, Google bidding, everything. It's a free market, you know, it's so, and so.
Sounds like
that-
something we gotta hurry because sooner or later, too many people will use it.
Yeah, no.
No?
I think people are too scared to use it now.
Really? Because it's spamming?
I mean, in general, more and more people are using LinkedIn ads. I've seen I posted about this a few weeks ago. I saw cost per clicks for all clients go up about 20%, like over the course of a month. See, more and more people are moving into LinkedIn ads. You just gotta get better at it. That's what it is. I mean, Facebook has got more expensive, you know, as things get hotter, more people, it's harder to get attention. So you gotta get better at grabbing attention, get better at targeting, and you need to do things like I said, like say it's a white paper before, to filter out the clicks, that even though that person might be relevant, but they're not gonna convert, because in the end of the day, we want revenue. Any other questions or comments in general or lead generation forms?
Is there a way you can force the business email to come up as opposed to the personal?
Yes, you can choose personal or business. This is actually a great question. And if you must have business email, and I want to emphasize must, you can have it as an opt-in field where they can manually enter it. What is your business email? We have a client, they need to know what the company is, the website, and they do a whole thing. They check on SimilarWeb, it makes sure they're good. And you forget content, they immediately count them as MQL, which is rare. So we ask them to enter their website URL. Conversion rates will drop. It shows that they're much more serious about the content, and they understand that we're gonna send them a free report that's customized in a few days. And they go straight to MQL, so you can manually enter things. You can also have checkboxes. For GDPR, you have to do that also, which I don't want to talk about 4-letter words. So, remarketing. Okay, remarketing. This is honestly the most underused feature, and I'll tell you why. It goes back to my comment that 40% of your, in my opinion, ideally you should try to achieve that if you're a mature marketer and you're profitable and you're not if you're at that stage, like 40, try to get 30-40% of your spend be not lead generation focused. And here's one of the ways to do it. Let's say, how many of your clients, right, they have demos, right? Demos like the golden ticket is what we want, or demos of our target audience. How many, now imagine instead of asking for a demo, because everyone's scared to be contacted by a salesperson, I don't know why, they still think they're coming door to door to sell kitchen knives. I remember actually when I was a kid, when people come do that, so I remember my father bought actually. They would, what you want to do is you want to be able to show, you want to ease the process of then be able to request a demo. So let me give you an example. And before you get into it, remarketing, for those that don't know, use a LinkedIn Insight tab, which is a LinkedIn cookie that you put on your website and your landing pages. Make sure you put them on your landing pages. In addition, when you, let's say you have used like a landing page for HubSpot, so it might be like go dot or l dot or whatever it is, right? .yourdomain.com, .wandydigital.com. What you want to do is you make sure that if you don't put it, you put it in the header, and then that landing page you remove the header, that code might not actually be on. So it's important to make sure that the code is actually on that page, and even more, in addition, when you send them over to the thank you page, that it's on there too. So you can exclude this. It might not be something you'd be doing originally, but something that you would be getting into. So remarketing. Let's say someone went to your demo page. It didn't convert. Nah, I don't want to fill out my form, right? Probably more people go to the demo page don't fill out the demo, they do. What we can do here is actually, I would like for you, or a free trial, or anything else, is do a video of a screen share of the demo, so they see what it's like, what happens. Here's what happens after you click request a demo. What's on the other side? I'm scared of the other side, right? How am I going to be marketed to, emailed to, remarketed to? Salesperson going to be calling me and emailing me. They're going to come and knock on my door. They don't know. So one way to do this is show them what happens after just in a video. So you scroll through your feed and say, here's a video. Here's you filling out the free trial. I'm filling out my information. Click, and oh look, I'm immediately taken to the dashboard. And this is what it looks like. It will increase, then the call to action is go back to the free trial page. It will increase your probability. You want to soften the blow of making them become a market qualified lead. Same goes, here's what a demo looks like. Hey, I'm doing a live demo. Just show a live demo. Upload an MP4, right? Or just post it, and you can sponsor it, and show a demo. And just straight up in your feed. It's another way that you can engage with your audience directly and show them what it's like to actually become a qualified lead. So they're not scared. Also, I always say, you want to remarket to people that have been on blogs and resources. This is a better, if you get a lot of traffic, this is a better remarketing effort than actual website visitors. Of course, all remarketing should be putting other filtering on top of it if your audience is not too small. Any questions on remarketing or anything else, LinkedIn ads in general?
You're suggesting that you should go ahead and put up a demo, put up an MP4 of your actual demo as a remarketing ad to these people, and you think that people are going to click on that?
That's not the goal. The goal is to soften the blow. They'll come back.
Not like a teaser.
You'll also have a remarketing ads of requesting a demo. You should also have in parallel. And so then they'll actually, that's what it looks like. Okay, I'll request it. Keep in mind, the whole point is to do everything at once. Okay? LinkedIn said we need 10 touch points for B2B technology companies for them to convert. And convert doesn't need demo per se. We get content, which is why you should be doing YouTube remarketing. It's very cheap, another good important touch point. To reach them off the platform, which would show how much, right, to reach those people aren't on the platform, right? There are many different ways to reach them. Well, the platform is Quora.com. I'm a huge advocate of Quora. It's another great way to reach people, and their audience network is also growing. That's their number one priority there. All right, so let's get a little bit more into value of video.
Wait, Yoel, before you continue, just a quick question. From a very practical perspective for the remarketing, is this something you upload a list? How does LinkedIn keep track of the people that you're trying to remarket to?
How does LinkedIn keep track of them?
Yes, is it people who came to your site, so you have to put a pixel on the site?
Yes, the insight tag.
A list that you have to upload?
Yes. So what you do is, when you go into your LinkedIn ads account, I don't know how much I can share here. I'll show you. You see my screen, Mike?
Yeah.
See, look, it's blocking me. I told you show on. It's a screen share thing.
What's that? There's if you click the arrow on the green, it pushes it to the bottom.
Thank you. Okay, cool.
Or to the bottom now if you push it above.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'll just go to my account. Now this is on my way. Like I'm so you go to account assets and you go to insight tag. Boom. And then here, the different things that we've added for the tag. You add your domain in here, and all your landing pages, if you have any subdomains, you add them in here. And when you actually set up, it will give you an insight tag. Learn more about installing the insight tag. It will give you code that you have to put on your site. You can use Google Tag Manager or manually add into your header. Does that answer your question? And then it will come back here and it will show that it's verified and how long ago, and then you'll be able to know that's live, right? So someone's been to the website within the last 2 minutes. So, and then it's verified. It takes 24 to 48 hours for it. Sometimes it's been actually much faster.
It's a lot faster.
A lot faster now. I've been saying that because I'm used to saying that, but we're talking like 3 hours, right? Within a day. So yeah. Another video ads. So to actually remarketing, another touch point is testimonials. In addition to showing how your platform works, your free trial works, your demo works. So here's Mike Stelzner. He's actually head of a social media marketing world. I don't know if you're familiar. Probably one of the best social media marketing companies. Actually, I think I'm meeting him he'll be here in Jerusalem, in Israel, actually in a couple weeks from now. I think I'm meeting him in Jerusalem. So with the Google Ads, he did a video testimonial out of San Diego for the work that we've done for them when we went out to visit them. And so I put it here as a remarketing tool. So anyone who's been to my site, exclude competitors, will see it. That's it. So it's another way, another touch point, another angle of how someone would perceive your company or the solution that you provide. So, one person might, say, for me, focus on LinkedIn ads. I'm going to focus on lead generation. I'm going to focus on thought leadership. Or another client, our main goal was to help them get funding. That was it. It was show ads to our, specifically to potential investors or our current investors that continue to fund in us as they negotiate these, seeing our blogs, our content we were mentioned here, and whatever, and look where we got these backlinks on Forbes. They don't know that, so and we share this and we make them as ads, and we help them close that next round. So there's many different ways you can use it. When video, right? So saying you can show demo, you can showcase your screen, showcase your team, right? Great way for hiring, video testimonials, case studies, actual to show how things are done and how things are worked on. Tutorials, which is thing we'll be rolling out, just how to do things, kind of like now in a sense, right? Tutorials. It's just so I'm gonna be taking ads out. We're in the process of this. Is making a bunch of tutorials and then just showing people this is how you do the LinkedIn ads. Here's how you get better targeting, more senior, and half the cost per click, like we just showed earlier with Yoni, right? Like these are tutorials. I'll show my screen share, upload as an MP4. There's so many different ways. You have to be creative, you need to put in the time, and you have to be freaking patient. Like it takes work. It's, this stuff is just grinding. You know what I mean? So you have to love it also. Great. Yeah, I'll explain product or demo better. Any questions on video? Anyone know this movie? Always be closing.
Oh, of course.
Always be what?
Always be closing. There's ABC. You don't know the scene? You don't know the scene?
It's a movie.
Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah, what's
It's like the sales movie. You need to look up this scene with Alec Baldwin. He was only in this scene. It was like 7 minutes, and he won like
Grammy or something for
a
this
Grammy.
scene.
Yeah, just for this scene. That's all it was.
Really?
It's epic. You can YouTube it. It's great. It's a great scene. It's also a great movie. It's about a bunch of losers, real estate salespeople steal a bunch of golden leads from a competitor. Whatever. It's interesting. So he goes A B C.
I think they were actually golden cards.
They're right. Yeah, he put it in
There's
golden
no
cards.
LinkedIn in those days.
And
so
his
guess
brass
what
balls.
was.
Right. Yeah. And he put it. It's a very good scene. Anyway, ABM, always be marketing. We talked about this earlier. Is make sure you're always targeting the correct audiences. So one of my greatest challenges that I need to work on is maybe getting to do this for my clients. Is getting them to get me an as, depending on which clients though, getting an as exhaustive of a list of who they would like to be clients as possible. And sometimes that can mean thousands, and that means a lot of market research, depending on the companies. And then if you can just know that, and you say, these are who we want, whatever, these 3,000 companies in this geographic, then all of your ads should have the ABM target on top of it. It is the most strongest thing. Then every lead you serve, every lead you receive will be very high value. Will be like, oh wow, that's a company we want to connect with. That's a company we want to connect with. So, but this is it's a pain in the butt trying to get all that, because if you don't see the company name, you need to go dig up the accurate domain. So ABM, always be marketing. All right, LinkedIn lookalikes. This is improving. This has recently come out of beta. You can now make a lookalike on yourself, kind of like you can on Facebook. You used to have to request it from LinkedIn, and every other Tuesday they would upload it, populate it into your matched audience. This is really great if you have a small audience, and then you use a lookalike on top of it, campaign. But don't forget, when you do a lookalike, don't do just like remarketing and all that. Make a lookalike so you have a much bigger audience, and then again redefine your location, the company sizes, and the job functions at least.
By the way, the lookalike option works in all the different ads on LinkedIn?
Yeah. It's regular audience, it's just in the targeting.
What do you mean by redefine? If you define, you say this is my target audience, right? You upload a list, but you say I only want to target of this list people who are, and you start going ahead and defining it, and then you say make a lookalike on that. It's not going to take the lookalike according to a specific location, years of experience.
So
Yeah, how does it
excellent
work?
question. How does it work? I should have started there. So there are two types of audience that they can make lookalikes. They're based on audiences that you have in your matched audience. There are two types of audiences in general matched audience, or I guess three. One is website visitors, and when that hits your insight tag or on a certain page, you can get people just in your resource to make a lookalike, or your entire website. One is ABM,
So wait a minute, what's the input you give, what's the definition you give for LinkedIn to know what's the lookalike?
Excellent. So there are three inputs.
Okay.
One is either visitors of your website or any certain web page anywhere that they're cookied. Number two is you upload an email list, and you can make a lookalike off of that. Or three, you can upload an account list, right, of companies that you want to target, and then they'll make a lookalike of other companies that are similar. Now, you don't get to see these emails or these people or this targeting. This is part of their special software and AI. This will do secret sauce. But you can target them, so lookalike. So when you then choose, let's say these companies look like, make sure you might get some in there that might be below the size that you want, because it might be very similar to this company, but it might be a third of the size and they're too small, or they're too big. They're just like that you make. So make sure you add your company size filtering on top of it. Make sure you add your job function if it's people, because they might take someone from marketing, make someone more sales or design. So make sure you do it.
When you say you can't actually pick them or see them, I'm not sure what you said before. You said you can't see who you're targeting?
Yeah, you don't get the list of the
They won't give you the list
Of the matched list.
of who you're actually targeting.
So is there no way to kind of track it and know where where the ads went? Is there no way to know
All you
who
can
saw
track is
your...
the people that have actually converted them.
Yeah.
And you
Only
track that.
conversions.
That's
Once
what
they
you want.
convert, we own them.
That's your goal.
Okay.
Your goal is
But
to
you
get-
have no idea of knowing where that ad has gone, basically.
We know what to look like, and then that's why you have to add your narrowing on top of it, of company size, job function, job industry, location.
But you'll never see your ad. Unless they convert. I mean,
You should exclude.
you'll never know where it actually went.
Okay, unless you have a
Unless it's not
CEO who has
converts.
a massive ego. Don't laugh. And I'm talking about you guys. I'm talking about a lot of these companies, particularly Israelis. You should exclude people that work at your company for targeting, so you shouldn't be seeing them anyways. Or
Okay, fine.
I often, especially for I add that into the competitor list. I often add them, the company itself, into that list.
Okay,
Make sense?
that does make sense.
And of course, and the goal is, to go back to something you were saying, is we want to capture that lead and then we own it. And this goes in general for LinkedIn Organic. So when you guys are pairing, right, you guys are speaking to people and networking on the LinkedIn platform, whenever you get a message, your goal should be to take it off and bring it into email or on the phone, always.
Got another question, I'm sorry.
Yeah, why are you sorry, man?
When you say we, because it might be a silly one.
We're
When you
learning
say
from
we
you.
own it,
That's actually correct.
that they
Thousands
can't get
of
any
people-
more ads? Is this what you mean?
Say it
They
again.
can't get any more ads? What do you mean by we own the lead afterwards? Are you
Oh,
talking about
you
doing
the person, the conversation.
You mean, yeah, it's ours, right?
Yeah, it's in HubSpot.
Okay.
Or Electron.
Okay. I thought
And now we
for-
can send them email marketing, we can serve, we can
I
hit
thought
them
for
up
a
however
second
we
they
want.
can't receive similar ads that
No, right.
we have. That's what I thought for a second. Like literally. I
Sorry
thought
for
you-
the misunderstanding.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
I'm good now.
Anyone have any more? No, it's a great question. Anyone have any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Also, and when you're saying in the third bullet point, you're saying different people list their job titles differently.
Right. I
So
mean,
what it'll look like we'll do is that maybe I'm too narrow in saying I'm looking for job titles A, B, and C, but job title X is actually relevant, but I either been not aware of it or I'm not creative enough to think of it. So you're saying the lookalike will target them as well and actually broaden the relevant searches.
correct. Who am I speaking with?
Yoni,
Yoni.
Yoni, man.
That's what that's
Yoni.
I can't see your face. Sorry about it. Go to my LinkedIn profile and tell people my job title is, please. This is how you learn though, because you understand it. So when you start to think of your audience, like you know what I mean. This is how you do proper research.
Right over here, LinkedIn ads for tech B2B marketing expert.
Thank you. Say it again. Say it again.
Well, I'm gonna get cut off. this.
No.
LinkedIn,
Yeah, sure. I'll do it for free.
LinkedIn ads for tech B2B marketing expert.
Okay, that's not a job title. And I mentioned this earlier.
Not at all.
Right, but if your uploaded list included people like me and you do a similar audience, a lookalike audience, then that would be included, right? Or many people that have been right, the things like that, and so the proper targeting. Also, another thing, especially for email, if you're targeting smaller companies, a lot of people like to say they're like CEO. So like I'm gonna be CEO of my company, but at the end of the day, I'm an advertiser, and that's how I should be targeted as an advertiser in most cases, more than someone that owns a company. So it's important to keep that in mind that their job title might say CEO at wherever, but at the end of the day, that's really not what their day. You know what I mean? The end of the day is that they're doing biz dev, you know what I mean, or networking, or marketing, or whatever it is, or sales, or they're a big tech guy because a technology company and he founded it. Who knows what? So by getting those email lists and making a lookalike off of that is another way to reach people. And this, by the way, is a great way to reach other people that are hard to reach or target, or you know what I mean, or to expand your. It's a great way just to expand it. This should be by the way, lookalike should be done when your audience. You shouldn't rush to do it per se. When your audience is too small, or it's extremely defined, you have a very accurate email list, but your targeting is difficult to do within LinkedIn's framework. It is really when this is not your first go-to thing.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. All right. So just some points. 80% of leads, I said earlier, B2B, come from LinkedIn. And 43% of marketers said that.
Where's that from?
It's a good source. I'll send it to you. I posted on LinkedIn and someone asked me for the source.
I've seen other people who've sent that, but I.
Google it.
It's
and
hard
you'll
for me to
find which
believe
source.
that 80% of all
Where else they
B2B
coming
leads. Where else are they coming from?
You're running LinkedIn ads, yeah?
And what's
Okay.
the other
You can
against that?
No, LinkedIn ads, LinkedIn. LinkedIn. From all
It
of it.
says B2B leads, and it's like any
Yeah.
leads, and obviously or a lot of organic. You know, we're going ahead and we're making blog posts to get organic, you know.
And where are you
traffic.
posting them?
If we post them, we post them on social media.
Right, which predominantly is also on LinkedIn.
Wait, no. What Benji's saying, Yoel, is he's saying that we create content like SEO, like targeted search engine content. People are finding it through search engines.
Yes, we do that too. Yeah, through link. Yeah, that's the other 20%.
So
Hold
for
on
you
a
to say
second. Sorry.
80% of people.
I'm not saying that. I am saying that, but it's not my resource. Yes.
Is
It's
the
LinkedIn.
8% organic and
All of
paid?
LinkedIn, yeah.
Everything.
LinkedIn, through LinkedIn.
You don't know how much inside of the 80 is actually organic, do you?
I do not know the answer.
Well, that would be an interesting stat.
I'll guess.
25%?
I'll guess. Yeah, I'll guess 80% is ads. I guess it's the Pareto rule.
Yeah.
That's not going to be my guess.
Makes sense,
I
yeah.
think it's a good default thing. There's some new things we want to talk about before we finish it up here. First of all, any more questions? Anything? Because I'll be finishing up soon. We'll talk about some new features. One is, as you know, Microsoft owns LinkedIn, right? What else do they own? What other advertising platform? Anyone know? Bing.
Wow.
And Bing is a search engine.
Really?
And that means they now have intent targeting, kind of like Google has now for B2B. And you might think no one uses Bing.
I was about to say that. Who uses Bing?
But that no one is still a couple of 100 million.
That is correct. Well, not 100 million, it's still a lot of people.
Right.
And it's enough data for us to source
Exactly.
and then to make other great assumptions. But a lot of people are being served Bing ads where they'll be able to attract them. So if you're searching in Outlook, also owned by Microsoft, or any other searches, Microsoft is using that for Bing, and they're serving this as interest targeting. You can now target people with interest in cybersecurity, other things, a whole bunch of scores, over 100 of them. That's now send you a list. And you actually have to manually enter them. They won't all come up in the drop down, which is funny, like cybersecurity, at least as of a month ago. So there's a lot of targeting that you can also do there. And these are based on LinkedIn defined through Bing Ads Network. So it doesn't mean they went to Bing.com. They use a search engine that lets you serve Bing ads, or maybe they have some other deals from other search engines that aren't serving ads, and they're being able to bind that data. So they know everything about you, like they say, you know, Microsoft knows more about you than you know about yourself, or your spouse knows about yourself, right? If you get the data from your phone, you know more. What's up?
Actually,
No.
Google
just
claims
trying to
that
work out something.
34% of overall queries on search are on Bing.
Google.
That's what.
Yeah, no, serve Bing ads.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not from Bing.com.
No.
Yeah. And by the way, and who's using them? Often they're more senior, more white collar, and more using Outlook. And which is, generally speaking, if you're trying to target CTOs, technology, you know, the technology companies, they're more likely to use Outlook. It's like the G Suite that I use. Yeah, which is Google email and all of their features. So this is also something else you can do on LinkedIn. There's a couple more things I want to talk about a little bit. I want to get into organic. I don't think people value for you, but do you have any more ad questions?
I can ask you general if you.
Yeah, does
if you
anyone have
don't
any,
mind.
do you have the live pulled up?
Hmm?
Do you have the live?
where'd it go?
Can you just pull it up?
I got the live pulled up. No,
Oh, yeah,
that's
okay,
the
cool.
question.
Yeah, what's up?
In general, just give me your view. If you're starting a brand new campaign, would you recommend starting it on a smaller audience or a larger audience?
Larger.
Okay, would you recommend starting it on smaller or a larger budget? Or if someone says $2,000, would you go ahead and come to me and say, that's great, but it's a waste of time?
That's what I would say.
Right, that's what I'm asking it. So
$2,000 is a waste of time?
If they just have $2,000, then I just tell them it's.
No, for like, let's say.
No, no, it's
You
time.
take your kids out.
They
Right.
shouldn't be
Go.
paying an agency to do it.
No, but I'll give you an example.
Oh.
So I'll give you an example, and here's the question. Let's say we are writing blogs for a client, okay? Now, these blogs, they need to target very specific personas. And when we post about them on their social, all of the leaders in the company on social, organically, it reaches their own networks. It's a very limited amount of people, right? Let's say that now they're saying, you know what, let's boost that up with a little bit of ad spend so that we get this blog to more people that are very relevant. So now we're always facing, they asked us, how much should we spend? And we're saying, like, we're always not sure what to tell them. Should we tell them $500, $2,000, $5,000? How much should they spend to spread that blog a
Well,
little bit more?
So let's say the audience hypothetically, let's go with just it's 10,000 people, okay?
Right.
So let's just
Yeah.
easy number.
The overall targeted.
Overall,
Yeah.
okay? And let's say CPM for another easy number, that's a cost per 1,000 people to be served the ad,
Mhm.
is let's say $100.
Mhm.
Usually higher, like
Mhm.
but let's just say it's $100. So I mean, so if we want 10,000 people to see it, 100 times 10, right? So there's your number, $1,000 for everyone to see it once. But you also need to be doing automated, so very high CPM. So even the most senior people, we could serve the ads. Kind of go back to what we were saying in now it's marketplace.
So another question, when I get a report that someone has seen my ad, let's say I spent X dollars on CPM, right? People have seen it. What is their experience in seeing it? Is it just maybe that they just swipe through it and
Correct.
have seen it for a fraction of a millisecond?
It's not even view. The word they use is impression. And so they don't see it. For video views,
so
it's
when
3
they
seconds.
count impression, it's actually might be a microsecond. Yes?
If you search in Google, let's say something, and there are 4 ads up top,
Mm-hmm.
and all of those immediately get an impression. So even if you're not looking, even you open it, you immediately scroll down to organic. You don't even look at it, and they click. That counts as an impression.
Sure, it was on
Okay.
the
Or you
page.
never look at
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, you click the first ad, but it populated, it was on your screen, that's an impression. But let's say the final ad might be at the bottom of the organic results, above, after the 10 organic, if you didn't scroll down, you don't get the impression. So if it's, the rule of thumb is for all platforms, I believe, is if it's on the screen, any part of it's on the screen, it counts as an impression. For a view on the LinkedIn video, it's 3 seconds.
Okay, so that's
So you
more
can't-
credible. That's more credible than
Absolutely.
3 seconds. Yeah.
Yes.
So then if we do, so now from what you're saying, I'm actually now just decided that when we do, if we want to pay for CPM rather than clicks, for video, do it for video, not for images.
If your goal is for people to see it, then you
Mhm.
should do CPM.
Yeah.
So like I said, like it's remarketing, you want them to see the demo, you don't really care for clicks, and a lot of times you shouldn't, or you wanna show, a case study or how to show how the product works or something, then write a CPM. But there is a time you should use CPM when you usually do CPC, is when your cost per, sorry to use this word, when your click-through rates are very high, it's actually more economical to move to CPM model. Because you're paying per 1,000 impressions, and if a higher
It's much
percentage of those
cheaper, yeah,
impressions,
that's
it
clear,
could
yeah.
be cheaper.
Right.
But that's where it's usually very targeted, very so. But just saying it's fun to do the math to see if my click-through rate is 1.2%, which is very high, very very high, to see if it would be worthwhile to switch over to CPM.
Yeah.
And if it's remarketing, you shouldn't. You should just do CPC and bid beyond the suggested amount to make sure it's always showing. Any more questions? Okay, a few new features. One, LinkedIn's rolled out this organic for your company pages, so everyone's talking followers.
Right.
You can start to invite, if you're an admin of a page, start inviting people to your page, to follow your page.
So what way can you invite them? What do you
Which
mean?
means as opposed to Shoham inviting me to be a contact,
Oh.
now Penguin Strategies, you're an admin of Penguin.
You want me to show you?
And you inviting me.
Can I show you? You want me to show you?
Sure, sure.
Like I got Wadi Digital.
No, I
came to
wasn't
me and
sure.
said, "Can
What's
you be my
new-
friend?"
what's
And
the new here?
before you even announced it, I saw that and I was like, oh, look
And you
at
said,
that.
and you,
Well, you would know, wouldn't you?
so they rolled this out, they slowed down the rollout because they said it's supposed to be like 100% rollout by the end of last Saturday. And they didn't, and I'm testing it, but I have it. And what you do is, you would say new here if you have it, and then you go to admin tools, invite connections, and then you would come like this, and it might get buggy because it has software. I actually had stuck one connection and it wouldn't let me show more for some reason, so I actually removed, and this is someone that's I would like to be a client. I removed them as a connection, and then came back and it showed everyone. And then they re-added it with a note. I was like, yeah, there's a LinkedIn button, whatever. There you go. This isn't even great. See? And then I can click. I'll invite my friend Yitzi, and then click in, invite connections. That's it, and he'll get something from my network here. which I cleared out, so you shouldn't see how it looks here, unfortunately. It would come in here.
It looks almost
Under
like
companies.
So it looks like a connection invite,
Almost,
right?
yeah. Pretty
Correct. It
Yeah.
doesn't come up as a notification on Google, like Facebook. But another thing to focus on is,
So can I just
So
ask
is-
a quick
Yeah,
question?
go.
So
that's a
if,
slow one too.
so it's gonna invite my connection, so if there are like a bunch of different admins on the page, it's inviting the person's connections, not the people who are already like somehow connected to the, right?
Which brings me
Okay.
now to my next point, which you should do with your clients. And we're starting to waiting for this to be rolled out, which God knows when. By rolled out is just host a pizza party where everyone brings their laptops, everyone's made admin, eat pizza, beers, and everyone sits there for an hour inviting with the relevant people. in the
So you can have multiple admins to a
Avner
LinkedIn phone?
invited
Yeah,
some of his connections.
Right.
He's an admin. I invited some of my connections.
There's no limit to the number of admins you can have on one company profile?
As far as I know, I've managed accounts with over a dozen. I've never reached. I don't know if there is anyone, but let's just say it's not less than 12.
And can you, in one command,
No.
select all of your
No.
contacts and
No.
send them?
That's
It was very smart that they didn't do that.
Go one by one.
Thank God they didn't, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't wanna ruin
you
you
out.
out. But-
You just feel like you're being.
Can we talk first mover advantage?
You're right.
If you guys have Facebook profiles,
On Facebook.
exactly. I was gonna ask that by the way you guys were talking. If any questions, ask what's HubSpot. I was like, you're a guest. If someone, a Facebook friend, invites you to like their page, what percentage of the time are you actually doing?
So
Stop
annoying.
being.
Stop being a friend, I like that.
Depends how friendly
You're
you
just
are.
saying that because you're worried who's watching. You're like, hey, now they're gonna check that I declined. Anyway, so a friend of mine told me he accepts because they get a notification that he removes himself. And I was like, that's pretty funny. Right?
That's a good trick.
It's a good trick, but it's kind of a dick move. But people are gonna get tired of it. So your first mover advantage, you should have people running it out. Cool. So we're pushing our clients. One of my clients asked, why did I made a post that got almost 5,000 views about it. And she was like, why are you sharing it? And I'm actually writing a post now about how I'm like Penn and Teller of magic. You know what Penn and Teller?
Mhm.
You know what Penn and Teller is? Oh, they're amazing.
What is it?
They're magicians. Anyway, they got blackballed by all the magicians they're amazing. They got blackballed by all the magicians. Why? Because they would show how you saw someone in half and all these cool tricks that we don't know how, right? They would show you how to do it. But
What's
they
their name?
Penn and Teller.
Penn, Penn, and Teller, Teller. They're amazing. They have a great show now where like people try to do magic tricks and see if you can stump them. And they're, you know what they are?
Yeah, I do.
They're great. He's like they're very, very interesting. And Teller plays the side. Whatever, I'm not gonna anyway. But the whole thing is that like what they have done for the magic industry, in general, people will come out.
They
people
ruined
now-
it.
No, they got more people now interested in magic and now going
Really?
to their small magic events, kind of like small stand-up
It's
comedy.
totally against their ethics, right?
Yeah, I mean not theirs, but I'm
Theirs,
just
the
saying.
magic
Right.
world
So I'm like,
ethic.
so my thing is, it's better for LinkedIn if we all know these things, and those who are connected with me and following me and understand the value that I provide as a LinkedIn expert, and being able to help clients, and I'm trying to help people. And at the end of the day, then we can help the platform, and if we can help the platform grow, we can. All of us that are actively engaged, right, and our first mover advantage, we're all going to be better off.
So
Which
you-
is why I think it's
so-
important, even though we're both agencies, is that it's collaboration is always better.
So, a Popo pizza party. Let's say I get a few people in one of our next, client meetings, get them in the room, I tell everybody now, get into your LinkedIn, and
Right.
I'm now making you
Yep.
admin. Now, let's say now.
But not everyone has. You gotta wait. It feels like it's gonna be a few weeks. They slow down the rollout. Like
Ah.
20% of people have it.
Oh, they roll it out gradually to the.
How many of
users.
you have it? You have it. Who here doesn't have it? Go to an admin
I
page.
know.
Do you see that new button?
Which page? Where-
Go to any
Anyone
page.
of your
Go to
pages.
Penguin.
Any page.
Yeah. Oh, the Penguin LinkedIn page?
Are you an admin of Penguin?
I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. But you'll see new or not. So they were supposed to roll it all out, but they haven't yet.
Yeah, I have it. Okay,
You have
cool.
it. Okay. So they started rolling it out more. As of 2 days ago.
New admin post.
Yeah. Maybe they rolled it out already. As of 2 days ago, 2 people in our organization didn't have it. So I would wait, I would check to make sure it's totally rolled out, and then you can kind of organize it, and you can get the decision makers, or a lot of our cyber clients, they have influencers that aren't officially part of the company, but we give them admin, and then we make them invite their connections, which are highly relevant.
So first of all, I requested admin right now from whoever is the admin. Who's the admin? I don't know. I'm not sure who's our
Oh,
admin.
Sean's gonna call us,
Yoni and
since if we're back to this. Anyway, so it's important to be able to provide value.
Can you give a little bit more of like what the value of it? What's the actual value of now Wadi Digital becoming my friend? How does it help Wadi Digital?
Well, when I
Benchmark
promote posts organically that I don't pay for, you might see them, but still might.
When you say
2%.
might, yeah.
No,
But-
they'll be on your
feed. Yes.
It's gonna be on your feed.
Right, but I follow a lot of pages and I
No,
don't see their
it for
updates.
sure will be. The question is, you might see, right? It for sure will be on your feed. The question is,
No,
will you
no,
see it?
no.
No, it might not be on
No?
your feed. It's supply and demand. I mean, if you, let's say, spend on average, let's just say an hour, let's say normal people, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes on LinkedIn day, I don't know what other people do, you only see X amount of ads. And now, not ads,
No,
let's say
but this is
organic
not
posts,
ads.
sorry, I don't know why I said that. Organic posts from pages you follow.
Right.
But I, for example, I follow a lot of pages. I follow all my clients' pages,
Right.
previous clients, and often I follow a lot of pages and a lot of
Right.
I follow a lot.
Right.
But how often do I see their posts? I go to my client's post to go find out something that I wanted to sponsor, and I'm like, oh, they had like 3 posts in the last 2 days, and I haven't seen any of them. And I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn.
So I have a
It's
question.
my only app
Okay,
on my
this
phone.
is a good question. Let's say that I'm one of those CIOs who doesn't go every day, but once a week I scroll through my feed on LinkedIn, and I scroll for a long time, because now I'm on leisure time. I'm scrolling a long time. Will I see posts that were posted 5 days ago, 6 days ago, if I scroll for a long time?
You'll see for a few days. I still get likes and comments.
Depends on how many
My
comments.
Yeah,
personal,
I'll say,
my
much
personal. So I
interaction.
I post a lot in my personal, and I'm sure you
Right.
guys are aware. And I get very strong engagement. And now we're talking algorithm, which I want to get into because this is great value. Really, because I really understand the algorithm now. Really understand. Is that when people like or comment, I touched on this, why you should never even like something you politically, if it's polarizing, whatever it is, or things someone doesn't see in the newsfeed, even if it's not polarizing, like a cat picture or something.
You shouldn't like it.
No,
Why?
because then let's say you like it, and then now it shows up in my newsfeed, show I'm liked X, and I'm not following that person, right? So I'm seeing it only because you liked it. That's how the algorithm serves it more than any other platform, maybe with the exception of Twitter. But it says that you liked it, so now then what that means is that I'm seeing it in my newsfeed, and I'm like, I don't want to see this stupid post with show I'm likes cat pictures, or politics of the left or the right or whatever, or in general, I just don't want to see this in my LinkedIn newsfeed. It's not I logged into LinkedIn. So what do? I go and I unfollow you.
Okay.
So don't. It's also bad business in general, not to be posting or like or engaging on political things or things that aren't LinkedIn friendly. Don't put on LinkedIn, right? Just like you
Or
wouldn't put
talk
inappropriate,
specifically about-
you wouldn't air out your dirty laundry on Facebook. It's the same kind of thing. Just don't. There's a location. Every platform has its own purpose. Don't do it, and especially on LinkedIn because it's a professional network. So you're saying something?
Well, Sean asked the question and just answer it really quickly. You'll often see even 1 day or 2 days, even in 3 days old.
Yes,
the shelf
sorry,
life,
thank you.
If it has engagement, if that was a highly engaged post, right, and they're connected to you organically, there's a higher chance it's going to show up in your feed.
So the longevity of a post depends on how much people engage with it?
That's part of it, yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
So let me give you an example. Like sometimes you can have posts that's a dead on arrival, meaning within like 3 hours they only get like, well, everyone's different, but we got a few hundred views in a few hours, and I'm like, okay, no one's gonna see this past 24 hours. Even if
Okay.
they're like an actual dead. I just know whatever the timing. Then I look and I write it down. And I see when I repost and I kind of try to learn from it.
You can't see. You can tell on your own how long that post has, the shelf life of that post.
Well, when I get a comment, I always immediately reply. Okay, okay, let me take a step back. So I'm really gonna get into this. This is really gonna go deep. This is partly related to I don't have as much experience organic posting for a company page. Keep in mind what I'm saying is definitely, because it's the same algorithm, the same platform, is relevant for organic and company pages. But this is in particular I'm talking about as you posting as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna give some amazing value right here. So, 1, don't post links.
Don't post links.
No, LinkedIn doesn't want you off the platform. If you want to post a link, put it in the comment. It tells us in the comment. Okay, number one. Don't share. Share posts are worth shit. Anyone that shares your post, you're not getting any views. People don't show shares. I don't know why. People, they will show if someone liked their comment, this person liked their comment, you won't see shares. Just the way it is. Who cares if it's dead? Who cares about shares? It's a vanity metric. They don't even show it like on Facebook or shares. It often doesn't even show up organically. It doesn't matter. You need to be LinkedIn native. I know a lot of people.
Why doesn't LinkedIn like it that people share?
I don't know.
Why doesn't it reward
I don't know.
that you share?
I don't know.
Because isn't it an indication for LinkedIn that people are actually liking this item?
I don't know the answer.
But you're saying it shows likes, right?
Right.
So
Likes
it's
and comments
different,
will help you
but not shares.
will get in front of more views
Okay.
But-
and bring it up. And if someone actually recently liked your comment, the more recent, the more likely it's to come back, and you can keep things on, and you can have a shelf life for 5 days,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And so that's what's important. Another thing that's also for organic is using hashtags. Now you're saying most people don't care for hashtags. A lot of people do. I love the productivity hashtag. It's very busy, it's got a lot there, but I love like productivity, I like time management, I like this stuff. It's an interest to me. So it's a great hashtag. I also do LinkedIn Ads hashtag. I also follow the LinkedIn Local because I go to LinkedIn Local Tel Aviv to see what other LinkedIn Local people are doing throughout the world, get some ideas and engage. These are some of my favorite hashtags. LinkedIn Ads is also my favorite. Just LinkedIn in general, just to see people that are talking about the content. So hashtags are a way to get views. Another thing is tagging people. You'll see people abuse this, and stay away from these people because they're obnoxious. They'll just tag everyone. Hey, I'm just tagging my LinkedIn experts to see what they think. And then I'll ignore it. And I'm like, okay, that's 3 in a week. I gotta ask them to, unless it's really relevant, you can tag me. So you'll see people do that. But I believe LinkedIn's kind of figured onto that and hasn't really rewarded it. A lot of people that are tagged and that person might like, that's the goal. And then when that person likes, more people, that network, a fraction of that network will end up seeing those leads. We'll end up seeing the posts. Okay, so you want to tag people, tag companies to a much less extent, and to tag hashtags. Actually,
Tagging companies is not a good idea.
yeah, it's a good idea. To a less extent, you don't get as much reach in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're when Cora liked one of my posts, it was probably like the highlight of my life. And I still don't LinkedIn like one of my posts, but maybe even to share one day. But that was like, because I tagged them and then they saw it, and then I actually posted that they liked it. I was so ecstatic. So there's a lot you can do with organic. The hardest thing but it's really individuals get reaches, companies don't. So make sure that you have an advocate that is posting or an influencer on behalf of the company. Did that answer your question, Shoel?
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else on ads, organic? If anyone has any more questions, they can pop me an email for those watching or call me.
Except that we're blocking the.
There you go. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. Tell me that you met me from here. And you can send me an email or you can give me a call. Obviously, I'm not usually available. I do answer my phone. And we're uniquely Anglo, so you guys can understand. So you get Anglo service and Anglo speed. We had a lead from our website yesterday morning, and I called her back, and she was British or South African, still trying to learn the difference in the accent. And she's like, "That was fast." I was like, "Yeah, we're not Israeli." Like,
I resent that comment.
You resent it because it's true. If it wasn't, you'll say, "Yo, you're a bullshitter." But it's true. That's true. But that's also one of the reasons why parents so great, because you guys are Anglo. Say it yourself,
There are 3
Third.
Israelis here.
Yeah, but you're
Come
Anglo
on.
level, but you're Anglo English.
Well, the other side is not.
So is that interesting how they self-segregate themselves? Just proving my point. Anything else? Sweet.
No, are you going to share your presentation with us just so we can look it over?
Yeah, sure.
I'll send it over.
We have it also in the recording of this.
Right, but if you want, I'm happy to share it to you. No problem. I'll send it over to you. Remind me, reach out to me any questions, comments, emails. I'm here to help you guys. I think you guys are doing great work. Any way I can help you or your clients or anyone else seeing this. If you have any questions for LinkedIn ads, LinkedIn engagement, and how to reach a further audience, email me yoel@wadidigital.com, WADI digital. All right, thanks.
Thank you very much, Yoel.
Thank you.